Welcome, everyone. I'd like to introduce Jill Miner to the audience. Jill graduated from UConn with a degree in Human Development and Family Studies. Jill spent much of her career working in the field of early child, but has always had an interest in health and wellness. Jill has struggled with the message we receive about what it looks like and feels like to be healthy. While Jill stayed home with her children, later working part-time in a preschool, Jill pursued certification as a group fitness instructor. Jill has taken courses in senior fitness, pre- and postnatal fitness, and Jill is almost done with her 200-hour yoga teacher certificate. Jill has wanted to jump into the health and wellness field full-time, but struggled to find a position that aligned with her personal beliefs. That is why Jill was drawn to this program. It allows people to explore what they enjoy and to choose their own path towards a healthier lifestyle.
Thank you, Jim. So I'm really excited to just share with you very briefly a quick overview of what the diabetes prevention program looks like. This is a program that is currently covered under a grant that was received by ECHN, Eastern Connecticut Health Network, out of Manchester Hospital. So at the present time, we're able to offer this program for free, which is pretty incredible. Some places across the country are offering this program probably for in the realm of about $500 to participate. So I'll just kind of give you a quick overview, but feel free, if you have any questions, you can pop those in the chat box, or feel free to interrupt me too. You know, I want this to be as relaxed and interactive as possible. So let's see if I can share my screen here. Like I said, feel free to interrupt me and I will do my best to keep this pretty brief, just kind of giving an overview. And then if you have more questions, I'm sure you can get my email from Jim or from Cindy. So why should we be concerned about diabetes? So in the United States, there are about 30 million people with diabetes. And that's just kind of the tip of the iceberg because there's about 84 million Americans with prediabetes. So that's about 1 in 3. And probably the most interesting fact is that 9 out of 10 of those individuals don't know it. So we'll actually get a chance in a few minutes to do a really quick test so you all can find out how quickly you can find out whether or not you're at risk. So what is prediabetes and how is it diagnosed? Essentially, it's a condition in which an individual's blood sugar levels are higher than normal, but not yet high enough for a diagnosis of type 2 diabetes. So for instance, if you've had blood work from your doctor, you might have an A1C between 5.7 and 6.4, or fasting blood glucose between 100 and 125. So as I actually talked about with a group this morning, you know, oftentimes a doctor may not even kind of alert you to the fact that if your blood results come back in those ranges, that you are at risk for type 2 diabetes. So this is just a funny little comic. It says, my doctor told me to walk 5 days a week. The other 2 days, I guess you're supposed to carry me. So, as Jim mentioned, we talk a lot about physical activity. So if you haven't been diagnosed by your healthcare provider, for instance, if you haven't had that blood work done, there's still a lot of risk factors. So I'm not going to read all of these because we'll have a chance to kind of go through these in a very quick way to kind of find out if you're at risk. But these are some of the risk factors that could put you at risk for type 2 diabetes. So if you think you're at risk, here's what you can do. So essentially the lifestyle change program was developed by the CDC, where participants learn to make lasting lifestyle changes. For instance, eating healthier, adding physical activity. We also have a number of coping skills, stress management. We cover a lot of topics throughout the year. Like I mentioned, ECHN is able to offer this program for free. And so, this program has been proven to really support people in reducing their risk for type 2 diabetes. So the main goals of the program are losing 5 to 7% of starting weight and also obtaining about 150 minutes of exercise per week. And so these 2 factors, the people that achieved that reduced their risk of developing type 2 diabetes by 58%. And even a decade later, most participants were 1/3 less likely to develop type 2 diabetes. So this is kind of the program in a nutshell. It's a 12-month-long lifestyle change program. So each week we kind of have a different topic that we cover. Initially, the program starts out meeting about 3 times a month. And then after about 6 months, we only meet once a month. So essentially throughout the year, we have 24 sessions. Each session, like I said, has a different topic. Sometimes we're talking about healthy eating. Sometimes we're talking about physical activity. Sometimes we're talking about sleep, carbs, stress management, taking charge of your thoughts. It really kind of spills over into all areas of our life. So participants have a lifestyle coach. For instance, I'm one of the, I think, 4 that we have currently at the hospital, trained to lead the program, to help you learn new skills, encourage you to set and meet goals, and keep you motivated throughout the year. The thing that I love about this program is that individuals choose their own goals. So we don't dictate a specific meal plan or exercise regime. You know, throughout the year, everybody kind of sets their own individual goals, starting from where they are. And then it's also, you know, as members of the Lions Club, you know, kind of the power of a group. So that's one of the things I love about the program, is that there's a group of people that support one another, celebrate success, help work through challenges, things like that throughout the year. I'll skip this little video, but because I'm still learning how to embed videos in a Zoom meeting. I think I figured it out today, but I won't use you as my test subjects, but I can ask Jim to maybe forward along this link if anybody wants to watch the video. So typically we would ask people, you know, whether or not this program is right for them. I'll stop sharing for just a minute. And if you have a little scrap of paper, or you can even use your fingers, I'll give you a chance to kind of really quickly go through what the risk test looks like. So let me see if I can bring that up. I have to go out of presentation mode. There we go. Okay. I'll bring up the pre-diabetes risk test. Can you all see this risk test?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can either just use your fingers or a little scrap of paper to write a tally mark. We're gonna just go through how quickly you can find out whether or not you're at risk. So the first question is, how old are you? So if you are younger than 40, you would give yourself 0 points. 40 to 49 is 1 point. 50 to 59 is 2 points. And 60 or older is 3 points. So are you a man or a woman? Sorry, men, you're at higher risk automatically. So if you are a man, you would give yourself 1 point. If you are a woman, 0 points. If you are a female and you've ever been diagnosed with gestational diabetes, which is diabetes during a pregnancy, if you say yes to that question, you would give yourself 1 point. No would be 0 points. If you have a mother, father, sister, or brother with diabetes, you would give yourself 1 point. If not, 0. If you've ever been diagnosed with high blood pressure, you would give yourself 1 point. If not, that's 0. If you are physically active, yes would be 0. No would be 1 point. And I always give people the option to give themselves a half point if they're kind of somewhere in between. We like to break the rules a little bit. And then last but not least, your weight category. No need to shout, but you will kind of look here, finding your height in that left column. So for instance, if someone was 5'5" and they were 200 pounds, they would be here in this middle column. So you'll kind of find your height and then your weight category. So if your weight is in this first column, you would give yourself 1 point. In this middle column, you'd give yourself 2 points. And in this last column, 3 points. And if you're below this weight here, then you would give yourself 0 points. Has everybody had a chance to look at that quickly? Okay. So then last but not least, you just take however many points you had, and that will give you your total score. So I'll stop sharing for a moment. So no need to share your score, but just so people know, you know, this is a risk test that we'll often pass out at health fairs, things like that, just to kind of get the word out about what those risk factors are for type 2 diabetes. So anything 5 or above would be considered at increased risk for type 2 diabetes. It doesn't mean you're definitely going to get type 2 diabetes. It doesn't mean you have it. It just means that you are at increased risk. So right now, in terms of the grant that we've received, anyone that completes that risk test and has a 5 or above would be eligible to participate for free in the program. So let me go back to our presentation.
Excuse me.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Nope, go ahead.
Basically, anybody who's over 60 gets 3 points automatically. So it seems if you're over 60, you're right on the edge of a risk. Even if you're normal weight, what's considered normal weight, you get 1 point. Or
Yeah.
as you get one, you know, it's so it's. I mean, it's you might as well say anybody over 65 is pre-diabetic.
Well, technically, it's not meaning that you have prediabetes. It just means you're at increased risk. So, you know, the thing I also like to point out is that a lot of those risk factors are things we can't control. You know, things like our age, our gender, whether or not, you know, we have a family member with diabetes. So, you know, a lot of those things are kind of out of our control. So the program really focuses on the things that we can control.
Well, I'm glad my after dinner drink, because I finished my meal at this time, is not one of the risk factors. So
Nope, we don't
Beer is
ask
not.
about alcohol intake. Nope. And the
Okay.
other thing I love about the program is we never tell you that there are things that you can't have. You know, it's not like other either kind of weight loss programs or things like that, where they say, you know, you can't eat these foods, you have to eat these foods. Everybody's coming at it from, you know, a different place, which is what I like about the program. So let me bring this back up.
My experience is the program helps you manage those choices, is what I'm experiencing.
Yeah, and it's those little changes along the way. You know, so here it's just kind of showing what the diabetes prevention program is not. It is not a strict prescribed diet or exercise program. It does not dictate how many calories, carbs, fat grams, etc. that you are allowed. And it's not an all or nothing program. Just in terms of one logistic here, it's telling me that Sharon Gothier is in the waiting room. Can I admit her?
Yes.
As the temporary host? Okay.
She's doing a
I
great
will
job.
let her in.
Yeah, we'll let her in.
Okay. So why is this program a full year? So during the year, people explore their current beliefs and habits. So really, you know, it's taken our whole life to kind of develop certain habits around eating, physical activity, all those kinds of things. So sometimes it takes some people, you know, the first 6 months just to become aware. What are the habits that I've developed around health and wellness? We have the opportunity to learn new information and then gradually incorporate new routines and new habits of people's own choosing. So over time, you know, the idea is that these new habits will become as automatic as anything else that we do, you know, kind of on a daily basis. So what's expected from the people who participate in the program, you know, we ask that people try to attend as many sessions as possible. We do ask for weights prior to each session, and this is just information that goes to the CDC in terms of our reporting. It's, like I said, it's only one sort of measure that we take into account. People keep track of their minutes of physical activity, and they maintain a food log throughout the year. Again, there's not any kind of judgment. Really, the food log and the tracking of the minutes of physical activity is more for the participants themselves, to really just kind of become aware of their eating habits and how many, you know, how physically active they're being on a weekly basis. And we ask that people participate in the sessions. You know, we ask a lot of questions throughout the program to kind of keep everybody engaged. We also ask that our people are open to ideas and suggestions from other group members, try something new. You know, the thing that I love about it being a whole year long is that it allows us to go through things like the holidays or maybe a pandemic, for instance. You know, there's opportunities for ups and downs, and to kind of in a real life setting, figure out, you know, how are we going to maintain those health and wellness goals that we've set for ourselves, even when things get tough or even when things are good. Because sometimes when things are good, we kind of let those things fall to the wayside. So in terms of what does a lifestyle coach offer, we try to start and end sessions on time. I'm sure that's something that the Lions Club tries to do as well. We check in with participants prior to sessions, throughout the week as well, in between sessions. We hold people accountable, and we also try to really make the discussions engaging and fun. So in terms of if people are interested in getting started, currently we are running this program through Zoom, something you're obviously all familiar with. And people typically have a scale at home to weigh themselves to report that information to their coach. And this is our enrollment form link. You don't need to worry so much about that. And then personally, as a coach, I always like to end each session with a quote. So the quote is, "Sometimes the smallest step in the right direction ends up being the biggest step of your life. Tiptoe if you must, but take the step." So I will stop sharing and I will transfer the host back over. There we go. So that's all I have in terms of a presentation. I know I went through that information fairly quickly, so feel free to ask me any questions you may have.
Well, the question I would have, first of all, thank you for the presentation. You showed the link there for being able to get in the program. Are we going to be sharing that with members? Is that something that I can get and as a follow-up to this, share it with members who might be interested in trying this?
Absolutely. Yeah, sure. So right now, I believe we have the only session that we have scheduled to start up is, I think, starting tomorrow. No pressure there, right? So, but we typically try to have at least one new group starting each month. So potentially with the holidays in December, we may not have a group starting in December, but I know for sure we have a group starting in January. We try to offer different groups in the daytime as well as in the evening, to kind of fit people's schedules. But I can certainly send links and information to all of you to kind of pass along.
Well, what I can do is, if you can get it to me, maybe through Jim, is then share it with the members. We have 20 people tonight, which is very good turnout, but there are 38 members in the group, so there's people who aren't here, and I could share it with them as well. Being someone who has done that test and is on the wrong side of the 5, that certainly is something to consider. It's if you haven't spoken to your doctor or he hasn't spoken to you recently about this, like mine has, is something that certainly is very relevant at this stage of the game. And then with COVID, people are not maybe getting as much exercise as they need to, and eating more and whatnot, and gaining weight. All those things are not taking you in the right direction. So this might help turn things around.
Yeah, and I really like that the program kind of approaches it from various angles. It's not, strictly, focusing on weight loss. We really talk about, what are all of those factors that play into our health and wellness. We also talk a lot about heart health and things like that. So it's really kind of multifaceted.
Well, any questions do you prefer Jill or Jillian?
Either one.
Any questions for her?
Hey, Julie?
Yep, go ahead. I can hear you.
Yes, okay, this is Paul. Is there any way that I can get that information because I need to lose weight and stuff like that?
Absolutely. So I will send a whole bunch of information along to Jim. We
Okay.
also sort of the presentation that I just gave, we also have that on our website currently. So, I can make sure that link is available to all of you. If you want to review any of the information, it has our contact information. If you want someone to reach out to you for more information, we can do that as well.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there an age requirement, like a minimum age, or?
I I believe I'd have to double check, but I think participants need to be 18.
18. Okay.
Jill, what do you find to be the biggest barrier for people trying to lose weight?
I don't know that there's one or just one. You know, I really find that it's usually individual. We have a lot of people that join the program, and they've tried Weight Watchers, they've tried various programs throughout the years, and oftentimes people are looking for sort of that quick fix. But what I love about the program is it's designed to be a year long on purpose, because we're really looking to change our habits and to kind of make these small little changes where we might not see those results right away. So I think sometimes people get a little bit discouraged because they may not see, the number on the scale going down. But I think if we can kind of encourage people to kind of hang in there and look for those non-scale victories that happen throughout the year, and reminding people that we're looking for, a better night's sleep and less stress and, an increased mood and more energy, that can kind of keep people motivated to keep going.
And I guess one of the things that's probably true is that the sooner you get started, the better. As you get older, it doesn't necessarily become easier. I'm using my own situation with my father had certainly early signs of diabetes. And by the time it was diagnosed, realistically, he was not going to be able to do the things that was really going to help him. So I think it's far better to be young like some of our newer members are, and take care of it then, than wait until you get older and then trying to get better at some of these things.
Jillian,
Yeah.
I have a quick question.
Yeah, go ahead, Mel.
Is it like if my parents say or whatever, and is this something I could give the information to my parents, or is it a Lions thing? Is it membership only? How does that rock and roll?
Yeah, so we actually had someone recently that joined our program. I believe he's in Michigan. He just happened to stumble across our website on the internet. So right now, because we are virtual, it kind of allows us that opportunity to really kind of, before that it was pretty much all, very close to home or close to kind of the greater Hartford area. But, right now, particularly with Zoom, it's really open to just about anyone.
Cool. Okay.
So that being said, if there were, say a core group of people in the Lions Club that wanted to kind of keep it, exclusive to Lions Club, that's something we could explore as well. But right now, the program itself, it's open to anybody.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Well, hearing none, I certainly thank you. Certainly something that's of interest to me and probably others. One of those things you try to be able to do something that could help your situation. And by the way, you were a great host. I think, by the way, you could make a great future president of the Lions Club if you want to join the Lions Club.
Windsor Lions. You already got two people from Coventry in our Lions Club, so.
Well, that's right.
Oh, really? In Windsor?
Yes, of
Yes,
course.
you know one of them.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, she does all her service here.
Well, that's nice to hear. Yeah, as the daughter of a Lion, I greatly appreciate the work that you all do. It's meaningful work for sure. So thank you.